Alright, time for a technical review here. We've seen a pretty good rebound in momentum stocks. I think there's some technical areas to point out and watch out for. I sorted them over here in order of Friday's top losers. At the top of the list here I have Gamestop. Gamestop has gotten above the cloud here, and we have some uptrending indicators to support the price. We're getting into a difficult area of technical resistance based on previous price action here. It's possible price could push up to the previous high up here between about 380 and 450. We saw some selling pressure Friday. We're still staying above our rising Tinkinson line here. As you can see, the white line right here, and we have a rising Kijinsen, and we're above the cloud. So all of these are bullish factors. We just have to watch for reaction to see if we can hold above those lines. Coming down to a 4-hour chart gives you a little bit clearer view. So we were just a little overbought ahead of ourselves here, pulled back to the rising Tinkinson line here. I would look for price to at least stay above Kijinsen line, which is coming in down here at about $200, 205. So if you're in this trade and you want to ride the momentum, I would look for price to try to stay above this Tinkinson line here, or at least above the Kijinsen. When you get the full body of a candle below the Tinkinson here, trapped between Tinkinson and Kijinsen, that's indecision, and price could go either way, so you need to watch which way price is going to break next. If it breaks below Kijinsen here, then that can indicate a break in the momentum trend. SOS, seeing quite a sell-off. I think what we're seeing here is a bit of an oversold bounce and likely to continue down. We are above the Tinkinson line here, trapped between the Tinkinson and Kijinsen. Excuse me. So we need to look and see which way this is going to resolve. Ultimately, we want to see these moving averages cross, and the next battle will be the downtrending cloud here. So it's really high risk to try to go long on these when they're still below the cloud. They're still in a confirmed downtrend. Some of them are pushing up into the cloud. We've got FUBO here, Fubativ. So it's possible this could continue and try to push its way out of the cloud. Usually these trends take time to develop. I think they're already a little overbought. Some of these are up close to 40–50% from the bottom. We did have a strong bullish candle here, and then another push up. So we look at this on a 4-hour chart, and we've gotten above the cloud. Possibly a pullback to the cloud and an attempt to try riding the uptrending green cloud. I'm not really in favor of buying right here and now. I think my prediction, if I were to make predictions, would be we're going to see selling pressure resume in these, but market sentiment has seemed to have taken a shift. I think that the money has come out of crypto and coming back into these speculative growth stocks, small cap stocks. MSTR, MicroStrategy, is a crypto related stock. They've invested in Bitcoin from what I understand. Seen a little bit of a pullback, and we've got resistance downtrending pressure here from the Kijinsen line, trying to hold the 200 moving average, gotten above the Tinkinson. It looks like we may drop back down below especially if crypto is going to continue to sell off here. RIOT blockchain is another crypto related stock. Trying to rebound here, still lots of downtrending pressure to deal with. Jivo has been pretty strong. We've pushed up into the cloud. We've kind of got some other previous highs that have pushed up here. I've drawn a long-term downtrending channel line here. This is over a 15-year period or so, which is one of the reasons that I really I've kind of been a hater of this rally, and I didn't partake in it just because I don't really believe in the stock, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So what I like to see is I like to see a steady trend develop. This flat area of the cloud here, I'd want to see this start to act as support at about 750. It looks like we came right down to that area. Yeah, we're 756. We came right down to that area on with Friday's trade. So if this can continue to push up Monday, this might be something you can attempt to trade and look for it to hold this 750. I think it's already a little overextended to be chasing it here, especially with all these downtrending indicators. Things can be a little bit tricky. It's a lot of risk. Ideanomics. We've seen a TK cross here. We've seen a few of these before that have failed. We're pushing up into the cloud. So this flat area of the cloud here, I'd like to see this act as support. So something like some consolidation, and hopefully work its way out of the cloud and find this as support and get a bullish twist where we start to have an uptrending cloud. I've drawn a long-term rising channel line, and we did get near the bottom here. It's possible it could be time for this to take off again. Charge point, CHPT, TK cross. We pushed up into the cloud a bit. I've got a descending wedge that I've drawn here. This pattern, we're looking for a resolution in this pattern, whether it's to the upside or downside. So right now we're just kind of at the top of this pattern here. If we can see a continued breakout, this could be quite bullish for this stock. We've got a lot of technical resistance areas here with previous highs. We've got one here at about 2650, 27. Got another one here at about 3150. And then this whole area up here is all going to be resistance for the stock. So I think if you're going to trade something like this, you need to be prepared for some volatility and pullbacks, or possibly even for this to fail. We could come down and test this again and eventually break out. I don't know. We just so things are at the point here where we need to watch for the next few days if we're going to continue to be bullish or turn bearish here. NKLA, Nikola. We've had a pretty strong push up here. We had something similar back here that failed. We poked just above the cloud and took a pretty hard long downtrend from there. So this is what has me skeptical about this whole momentum push now, is just looking at majority of these stocks and where they are technically. and where they've reacted before. So it can take time for these things to work out. Maybe another pullback, push up, eventually get on top of a rising green cloud, which is starting to twist right here. Or this may be where we fail and drop down further. It's hard to say. Just have to follow the chart information as it evolves here. Tilray, we've had a push up here to test the cloud, starting to get a TK cross. We've got sort of a bearish pin bar right here where we tested the cloud on Friday. Lower time frame, a 4-hour chart, we tested the top of the cloud, pulled back right to the rising Tinkinson line here. So I think Tuesday's trade, Tuesday and Wednesday, are going to tell us a bit about the direction this is heading. So see, we have a flat top of the cloud here and it's trying to twist. That's the 4-hour chart here. So I'd want to see this act as support. This flat top right here at about 1650. We pulled back close to that right now. We're at 1667. Let's look at AMC here. This thing has really surprised me. I think it just looks overbought here. Big push up. Pin bar with a red candle on Friday. However, we did pull right back to the rising Tinkinson line. This trend is too steep to be sustainable, so at some point this is going to fail. It's just a matter of how much risk you want to take, how far you want to ride it up. This does look pretty bearish here with this big red candle and pin bar. We had big push up here over 3650, 3673 is what I'm seeing. This could be another indication of market sentiment and when it's going to turn. With this big push up we see here and this big bearish candle. Let's look at a 30-minute chart, see if the momentum is starting to break. If you look at the 30-minute chart, see how prices stayed above the Kijunsen line, Tinkinson staying above Kijunsen, and now we're getting a cross and prices close below Kijunsen. So on Tuesday morning we need to see this pick back up, or this is a sign that this trade is rolling over. Quantum space, this is one that I've been interested in shorting. Right now I've closed my short positions because of the way the market's been acting. But some of these stocks, as I pointed out near the technical downtrending areas, could be of interest to short sellers at the current positions here. Let's look at DraftKings. So DraftKings has seen, well, the uptrend kind of broke, fell below the cloud, very sharp sell-off. This looks like an oversold bounce, and we've started to react right here at the downtrending Kijunsen line. So just looking at all these charts together tells me that we're at a key tipping point here with a lot of these charts. So the next 2 trading days are going to be important to determine the direction of these. With DraftKings here, we still have the downtrending cloud to deal with. This flat area of the cloud here is going to act as resistance. We see a lot of price action history in this area. We're at an area of resistance right here now with the downtrending Kijunsen line, which aligns with a lot of other price action we saw around in here. Flat top of the cloud here that was a resistance support area. Tesla, this almost looks like we're getting into a range bound pattern here. We've got some downtrending pressure coming in. Just like a lot of other charts I'm seeing, we're right at this critical area, downtrending Kijunsen line right here. And see how it's starting to hook down a little bit? If you look closely, it's starting to bend over, indicating it's wanting to push the price down. Price needs to get above this and above the cloud for this chart to get bullish again. So from looking at the majority of these charts, I get the feeling that these prices are going to turn back down. And I'm not sure if that means that crypto is going to get bullish, because crypto has had some negative news and taken a bit of a hit. CCIV, we've got this sort of wedge thing going on here that I've drawn. We're looking for a resolution of this pattern if we're going to break out of it or break below it, or just continue for a little more. So just like with all these other charts, we're right at this critical point. BNGO coming up into downtrending pressure here. NEO testing the bottom of the cloud and this descending line that I've drawn here. Fuel cell, this thing's been pretty strong. It's quite a pullback. We've got price action resistance right in here. It looks like we've started to react to that. Downtrending cloud, downtrending 50 moving average. But on the bullish side, we've had a TK cross, and price is still above the Tinkinson line here. We'll get a different perspective with the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, we're testing the top of the downtrending red cloud right here, and staying above Tinkinson. So if you're in these trades or looking to get in, I like looking at the 4-hour chart to track the momentum here. We don't want to see candles start to close below this Tinkinson. Definitely not below the Kijunsen if we're long. We can come down to a 30-minute chart if you're trying to day trade this. We can see a loss in momentum on the 30-minute chart where we've dropped below Kijunsen and we're getting the moving average cross here. This is one I took a short trade on, or held it for 2 or 3 days, and I sold this Friday. I think it's just a little overextended here. A straight up trend like this is hard to sustain. So I went ahead and I took my profits on this one, and we have sort of a bearish doji shooting star here on the daily chart. We're still below the top of the cloud, so that's a bit of a red flag. We're still holding our momentum on the 4-hour chart. We just got a little ahead of ourselves, but this straight up Tinkinson line is this is just too steep to continue for too long. This is starting to look like it's Risk of rolling over, we traded down another 3.62% after hours, so we're at 30.10, which would put us below the Kijinsen line now. So after hours, we traded down here below Kijinsen. So it looks like momentum may be rolling over with this. PLTR, we've had a nice reaction to an oversold area here. Big bullish candle. Defeated the Kijinsen line. TK cross. Testing the cloud here, and we've had a big doji or shooting star with a long wick right here on the daily chart. Could just be reacting to overbought area, and we pull right back to this Tenkan-sen line here. Look how long these wicks are right here. 2 candles with long wicks on the 4-hour chart. So yeah, the more of these charts I look at, the more I think, the more likely it is I think we're going to turn around here and see selling pressure return to these. What's going to be interesting to see if we see buying pressure return to crypto for a bit. It's possible to see these things pull back and maybe not make a new bottom, not make a new low, which would be bullish and signal a possibility of a new rising trend. Trends take time to develop, so we need to be patient with these and learn to understand our downtrending barriers. There's just a lot of areas of resistance for these. So we've got an area of resistance here, here, here. It's just going to take time for this. A lot of times the chart just needs to leave this stuff long behind in the rearview mirror before we can develop a new trend. Possibly a lot of consolidation and retesting bottoms, stuff like that. Or we could just rally sharply out of this and just go completely ballistic. You just never know. It's just all things to consider and watch out for. Plug power has been pretty strong. This thing is up, let's see, 1850 to 30. That's about a 38% move or so from the bottom. And we're starting to react here to the downtrending cloud. We're still holding our rising trend here. We're still above the Tenkan-sen. Looking at the 4-hour chart, still above the Tenkan-sen here. So this is looking, plug power is looking pretty bullish here. I think it's a little bit late to try to jump on these right now. I'd wait for more signals of a rising trend developing. I don't trust this move right here. I think getting in here, you're just asking for an immediate slap in the face. Anyway, so these are getting interesting. SNDL, sundial, big red flag right here. Just like a lot of these others I'm looking at. Testing the bottom of the cloud here. Now on the 4-hour chart, we just look a little overbought here. We look like we could pull back. We've got our rising indicator lines here. The trend that it's trying to establish looks awfully steep, so I just think this needs to pull back and stabilize and develop a rising trend that's sustainable. But yeah, on the daily chart, I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot of red flags on these things. So, all right, well, that's it for now, and good luck.